Step into the shadows, where the lines of history and crime intertwine. Tales of intrigue, suspense, and mystery lurk in every corner, waiting to be unraveled. From the grand heists of old to the notorious criminals who've left their mark, every story is a journey into the darker side of humanity. Old secrets whisper through time, echoing the deeds of those bold enough, or perhaps mad enough, to defy the law. So brace yourself for a thrilling exploration into the world of crime and history. No stone will be left unturned, no secret undiscovered. My name is Jack Vici, along with my co-host Michael Lee and Pamela Brown. We welcome you to the chronicles of our past, where every page holds a story worth telling.
Who was Greselda Blanco, and why was she known as the godmother of cocaine? This is a question that's been asked by many, and today we're going to peel back the layers of mystery surrounding this infamous queenpin. Greselda Blanco, born in Cartagena, Colombia, was a woman who defied the societal norms of her time. She was fierce, she was ruthless, and she was a key player in the notorious Medellin cartel. Blanco's life was anything but ordinary, and her actions led to her becoming one of the most feared women in the world of organized crime. Now you might be wondering, how did a woman from Colombia come to wield such power? Well, that's the enigma of Greselda Blanco. She wasn't just a participant in the drug game, she was the game, and her influence stretched far beyond the borders of her home country. She was known by many names. Some called her the godmother, a testament to her power and influence in the coke trade. But she also had a darker nickname, the Black Widow. This name wasn't just for show, it was a chilling reflection of her lethal methods and the number of murders she's responsible for. The estimates run into the hundreds, including the murder of her husbands. But Blanco wasn't just a crime lord, she was also a mother. Her children, often caught up in her dangerous lifestyle, played significant roles in her story. And then there's Charles Cosby, a figure who would become intimately entwined with Blanco's life and fate. Her story is full of money and murder, alliances and betrayals. But perhaps the most shocking betrayal of all was the one that led to her downfall. Who could have imagined that the godmother would be betrayed by her own team? So let's dive into the life of Greselda Blanco, the Black Widow. From her rise to power in the Medellin cartel, to her reign in Miami, and ultimately, her dramatic fall from grace. This is the story of a woman who defied all expectations and became a symbol of power and fear in the world of organized crime. Born in Colombia, Blanco's journey from poverty to power is a tale of survival, ambition, and ruthlessness. Growing up in the slums of Colombia, Blanco was no stranger to the world of crime. As a child, she was a pickpocket, a shoplifter, even a kidnapper before she was a teenager. Her life was a constant struggle for survival, and she learned early on that to get ahead she had to be tougher, smarter, and more ruthless than her competition. But even in the world of petty crime, Blanco had bigger ambitions. She saw the potential of the burgeoning drug trade and she wanted in. Colombia at the time was the epicenter of the global cocaine trade, and Blanco was at the center of it all. After rumors spread that she was behind the brazen murder of her second husband, she knew the law would not be far behind. And so, she made the decision to leave Colombia and head to the streets of Miami. It was a bold move, one fraught with danger and uncertainty. But Blanco was not deterred. She arrived in Miami with little more than the clothes on her back, and a ruthless determination to succeed. In Miami, Blanco quickly established herself in the drug trade, forging connections with powerful figures in the Colombian cartels, and also bringing in some old friends from back home. She was utterly ruthless, and she quickly gained a reputation as a force to be reckoned with. Her rise was meteoric, and before long she was running one of the most powerful drug trafficking operations in the United States. But this was not just a story of rags to riches. Blanco's ascent was marked by sex, money, and murder. Her ruthless tactics earned her nicknames like the Black Widow and the Godmother. She was reportedly responsible for dozens of murders, and her reign of terror left a lasting mark on the city of Miami. But Miami was just the beginning of Blanco's empire. Bridging the gap between Colombia and Miami, Blanco wasn't just another dealer, she was the plug. Greselda Blanco, a name that was whispered among the shadows, became synonymous with power, fear, and ruthless ambition. Her journey was not a tale of luck or chance, but a calculated and relentless pursuit of dominance. She was a woman who dared to infiltrate a world dominated by men, and she did so with an iron fist. Her rise to power was unstoppable, and the Miami drug trade quickly became her playground. With her keen mind and unyielding determination, she turned the city into her personal gold mine. She didn't just participate in the drug trade, she redefined it, changing Miami's culture forever. But to understand the magnitude of her influence, we must delve into her connections. Blanco was not an isolated figure. She was a spider at the center of a vast web, intricately connected to some of the most infamous cartels in history. She was not just a player, she was a puppet master, pulling strings from the shadows. Her dealings with the notorious Medellin cartel solidified her standing in the underworld. This alliance allowed her to expand her operations, and soon, Blanco's criminal enterprise was a force to be reckoned with. She was not just a participant in the drug trade, she was a pioneer, setting the rules of the game. Her empire was not built on drugs alone. It was a complex network of illicit activities from money laundering to contract killings. Blanco was ruthless and unapologetic, and her empire reflected this. It was a testament to her audacity and cunning, a monument to her dark genius. Her empire was not just a testament to her power but also to her resilience. She faced countless obstacles, from law enforcement to rival cartels, yet she remained undeterred. She was a woman in a man's world, a queen among kings, and she refused to be anything less. Blanco was not just a queen in a man's world, she was the godmother. Being a woman in the drug business, Blanco had to be twice as deadly. The reign of Greselda Blanco the Godmother was one of a kind. She was no ordinary woman, and her story is not one of fairy tales, but of a ruthless queen in a world of chaos and crime. Her reign was characterized by her unyielding determination and an insatiable lust for power. She sat at the helm of an empire that was both feared and respected. The Godmother was not one to shy away from violence. In fact, she often embraced it as a necessary tool to maintain her rule. Her methods were brutal, her decisions final. They say power corrupts, and in Blanco's case, it was no different. Greselda Blanco was not just a queen, but a queen of death. Her reign was marked by countless murders, each one a testament to her cold, calculating nature. Allegedly, she was responsible for no less than 200 murders. Some say the number goes even higher. Each life taken, a step further into the abyss of infamy. Her ruthlessness knew no bounds. She was the Godmother, the Black Widow, a woman who would stop at nothing to get what she wanted, which was everything. She ordered hits on her rivals, their families, and anyone else who got in her way. The streets ran red with blood under her rule, and fear was her most loyal subject. But this was not all. Blanco was a master manipulator. She was a puppeteer, pulling the strings of an intricate web of alliances and betrayals. She knew how to use people, how to exploit their weaknesses, and how to turn them into pawns, especially the men in her life. Yet, even the Godmother had her vulnerabilities. Despite her ruthless tactics and her iron grip on her empire, she was not invincible. Though cold-hearted, it was her open heart to those in her circle that led to her downfall. For now, let's revel in the dark, twisted reign of Greselda Blanco, the Godmother, the woman who turned the world of crime into her playground. Behind the ruthless Godmother, there was a woman with her own joys and sorrows. Greselda Blanco, despite her notorious reputation, was not just a drug lord. She was also a mother and a lover. Blanco's personal life was as tumultuous as her criminal enterprise. Blanco had 4 sons, all of whom she raised within the dangerous world of drug trafficking. The eldest, Dixon, was from her first marriage in Colombia to Carlos Trujillo, who was murdered around the time she met her second husband, Alberto Bravo. Alberto is the father of Osvaldo and Uber Blanco. Her youngest son, Michael Corleone, came from her third marriage. Yes, you heard right, Michael Corleone, named after the character from the Godfather series, a testament to Blanco's fascination with mafia culture. Her sons, unfortunately, inherited not only her wealth, but also her gangster lifestyle. Dixon and Osvaldo were murdered in Colombia by a rival cartel, while Uber was assassinated in Miami. Michael Corleone is the only surviving son. Dario Sepulveda, Michael's father and Blanco's third husband, died by shooting in 1983. He was reportedly approached by men dressed as police officers who shot him in front of Michael. Reports say Blanco hired assassins to kill her third husband. After the murder of Dario, Blanco found a romantic partner in Charles Cosby, a former drug dealer from Oakland, California. Their relationship began while Blanco was serving time in prison. Cosby was attracted to her power and wealth, while Blanco saw in him a loyal companion who could manage her drug empire from the outside. Together they plotted audacious schemes, including one to kidnap John F. Kennedy Jr. in exchange for Blanco's release from prison. Yet, despite the bond they shared, their relationship was not devoid of the treachery that characterized Blanco's life. Cosby, fearing for his life due to Blanco's unpredictable behavior, ultimately cooperated with authorities. contributing to Blanco's downfall. But even in her personal life, betrayal was never too far. Blanco's personal life, much like her professional one, was marred by violence, treachery, and loss. But it's these aspects of her life that made her the complex, fascinating figure that continues to captivate us today. Blanco's downfall came from where she least expected it. As the sun rose on another day in paradise, the godmother found herself ensnared, not by her enemies, but by those she considered her own. The people she trusted, the people she had built her empire with, were the ones who would eventually lead to her downfall. The walls of trust began to crumble when whispers of discontent started making rounds in the corridors of her empire. The whispers grew louder, the murmurings more defined, and before long a full-fledged betrayal was in the works. Some say it was greed, others say it was a thirst for power, but whatever the reason, the seeds of treachery had been sown. The first blow came from her right-hand man, a man she had nurtured, trusted, and placed at the helm of her operations. He turned on her, trading loyalty for his own safety. He became an informant, feeding the authorities information about Blanco's operations, her hideouts, and her plans. But the betrayal didn't stop there. One by one, her comrades, the men and women she had fought alongside, turned their backs on her. They became informants, they became witnesses, they became the nails in the coffin of her empire. And then came the day of reckoning. The authorities, armed with the information from her own people, swooped down on Blanco. She was arrested, her empire crumbled, and the godmother found herself staring at the cold, hard walls of a prison cell. The betrayal was complete. Her empire, her power, her reign, all came crashing down. The woman who once commanded respect and instilled fear was now a prisoner, betrayed by those she had once trusted with her life. The godmother's reign had come to an end. In the world of crime, loyalty is a fleeting entity, and for Greselda Blanco, it was the betrayal of her own that marked the end of an era. An era defined by power, ruthlessness, and the reign of the godmother. Greselda Blanco's story is more than just a tale of power and betrayal. It's a nefarious narrative that has left an indelible mark on the annals of crime history. The godmother, as she was notoriously known, carved out a path of dominance and destruction that was as unprecedented as it was ruthless. Born and bred in the slums of Colombia, Blanco ascended from her humble beginnings to become a formidable figure in the world of drug trafficking. Her journey from Colombia to Miami was not merely a geographical shift, it was a strategic move that positioned her as a key player in the burgeoning cocaine trade of the late 20th century. Blanco's empire was built on cunning, audacity, and an unflinching willingness to shed blood. She was the mastermind behind a sprawling network that funneled tons of cocaine from Colombia to the United States, redefining the scope and scale of the drug trade. The godmother's reign was marked by a level of brutality that even her male counterparts often shied away from, earning her the chilling moniker of the Black Widow. But the tale of Greselda Blanco goes beyond the body count. Her life was a twisted tapestry of personal relationships that were as complex as they were perilous. From her children who were raised in the shadow of their mother's criminality, to Charles Cosby, the lover who became entwined in her dangerous web, Blanco's name has been written in the history books in blood. After being betrayed by everyone, Blanco cut a plea deal in 1998 after pleading guilty to second-degree murder. She was sentenced to serve 3 concurrent 20-year sentences. Her legacy continues to reverberate through the corridors of crime lore and popular culture. Her audacious life and gruesome exploits have been immortalized in films, television series, and music, painting a haunting portrait of a woman who was as feared as she was fascinating. Greselda Blanco was not merely a participant in the drug trade, she was an architect of its modern incarnation. Her ruthless tactics and innovative strategies transformed the narcotics industry, setting the stage for the bloody drug wars that would follow her reign. While Blanco's legacy is undeniably steeped in violence and criminality, it also serves as a stark reminder of the devastating impact of the drug trade. Her life and death underscore the human cost of the narcotics industry, highlighting the cycle of violence, corruption, and societal decay that it perpetuates. Yet, in the end, Blanco's story is also a tale of survival. Despite the countless enemies she made, the numerous assassination attempts she survived, and the relentless pursuit by law enforcement, Blanco managed to survive for decades in a world that was as deadly as it was lucrative, but after being released and deported back to Colombia, she was gunned down by a hitman on a motorcycle. Greselda Blanco, the godmother of cocaine, the Black Widow, remains an enigma, a symbol of power, ruthlessness, and survival. Her story is a dark testament to the depths of human ambition and the destructive power of unchecked greed. Our journey into the life of Greselda Blanco, the godmother of cocaine, draws to a close. We've delved into the depths of her dark world, tracing her path from the slums of Colombia to the bustling streets of Miami, witnessing her rise to power and eventual downfall. If this video captivated your interest, don't forget to hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us unearth more intriguing stories from the world of crime, and gives us the means to shed light on the dark corners of human history. Leave a comment below to let us know what you thought of this video, or if there's another crime figure you'd like us to explore. Thanks for tuning in, and stay with us as we continue to delve into the most intriguing stories from the world of crime. We'll be back with another gripping tale soon, so make sure you have your notifications turned on. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and as always, stay dangerous.